Nothing feels urgent. Nothing feels broken. Yet something feels strangely distant. The day moves forward as it always does. You complete tasks. You answer messages. You smile when expected. From the outside, everything looks fine. There are no obvious problems. No crisis. No reason to complain. But inside, something feels muted. As if a layer has been placed between you and the world. You're not sad in a dramatic way. You're not anxious in a way you can point to. It's quieter than that. It's the feeling of moving through the day without really arriving anywhere. You might notice it in small moments. While sitting alone in a room that should feel familiar. While walking down a street you've walked 100 times before. Nothing looks different. But it doesn't feel the same either. People often assume emptiness comes from loss or failure. From something going wrong. But for many people, emptiness shows up when life is stable. When things stop demanding attention, the noise fades, and what's left feels unclear. Some minds are wired to respond to intensity. Deadlines. Pressure. Responsibility. Movement. When those things disappear, there's no clear signal telling you how to feel. So the space opens. That space isn't pain. It's not distress. It's simply unfilled. You may try to fix it without realizing. Scrolling longer than usual. Starting conversations that don't really satisfy. Keeping yourself busy just to avoid the stillness. But distraction doesn't fill the space. It only postpones noticing it. Emptiness often appears when your inner world has been running on external cues. When motivation comes from expectation instead of alignment. You do what needs to be done. You function. You show up. But somewhere along the way, your internal sense of meaning quiets down. Not because it's gone, but because it hasn't been listened to. Some people are deeply sensitive to purpose. Not in a dramatic sense, but in a subtle one. They don't need excitement all the time. They need direction that feels personal. When life becomes routine without reflection, that sensitivity doesn't disappear. It withdraws. And what you feel instead is emptiness. This doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It doesn't mean you're ungrateful. It doesn't mean you lack motivation. It means part of you is waiting to be acknowledged. Emptiness is often a pause, not a problem. It's the moment where your system is no longer reacting, but hasn't yet chosen what matters. In that space, old patterns lose their pull. But new meaning hasn't formed yet. So things feel flat. Neutral. Uninspiring. The instinct is to fill the space quickly. To return to noise. To avoid sitting with the uncertainty. But emptiness doesn't need to be fixed. It needs to be understood. When you stop trying to escape it, the space begins to speak. Quietly. You start to notice what drains you. What feels hollow. What no longer fits. And slowly, without forcing anything, a clearer sense of direction begins to emerge. Not louder. Not more intense. Just more true. Some spaces aren't emptiness. They're where you slowly return to yourself. If these moments feel familiar, you might want to stay here a little longer. This channel explores the quiet parts of the mind, without judgment, and without noise. This is Inner Quiet.